Hi, I'm Michael Wan, your host for Michael Wan's Op-Ed Live. Trump versus the deep state. That is the subject of today's op-ed. So President Trump is looking into revoking the security clearances of several top Obama-era intelligence and law enforcement officials. The White House press secretary, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, accused them of politicizing their information. Not just that, Sanders said that they might have even monetized their public service. Well, this whole revoking thing wasn't President Trump's idea. It came from Senator Rand Paul. Senator Paul told the president that he needs to specifically revoke outspoken Trump critic and former CIA director John Brennan's clearance. You are right on there, Senator Paul. In an interview with Fox News, Rand Paul told host Martha MacCallum that Brennan should not get anywhere within 10,000 yards of the government. He should have a restraining order. I concur. Rand Paul said that John Brennan leaked information almost cost the life of a double agent. So this guy, who is a traitor, by attacking the president left and right, he runs around, leak information, and put agents at risk. Shame on you, John Brennan. And that is exactly what Rand Paul thinks. He said that Brennan should have been fired for that. And Senator Paul continues, he wasn't fired by President Obama because I think he was a partisan. But now he's a talking head on the outside, saying that basically President Trump should be executed. That's what we do for treason. And so, yeah, I'm very concerned about him having privilege because of his past history. This is what Rand Paul said. And it's not just you, Senator Paul. Americans are concerned. At least half of Americans are concerned. And if you aren't, you should be. All Americans should be concerned about this kind of shenanigans. Paul added that he would go one step beyond the White House and remove top secret clearances from all retired CIA agents and officers of any stripe. So Sarah Sanders said Trump is also looking into the clearances for other former officials and Trump critics, including former FBI Director James Comey, former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, and former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, and former National Security Advisor Susan Rice, and former CIA Director Michael Hayden, who also worked under President George W. Bush. Again, Sanders said Trump is exploring mechanisms to remove the security clearances because the former officials politicized and in some cases actually monetized their public service and their security clearances in making baseless accusations of improper contact with Russia. Sanders said that their clearances effectively give inappropriate legitimacy to accusations with zero evidence. And it is also reported that Andrew McCabe's security clearance was deactivated when he was terminated. So that is taken care of. But how about the other 5? We need to pull their clearances ASAP. And Sarah Sanders added this. When you have the highest level of security clearance, when you have the nation's secrets at hand and go out and make false statements, the president feels that something needs to be done. Fox News reported that Benjamin Wittes, a friend of Comey's, tweeted Monday afternoon that he texted the former FBI director who told him he does not have a security clearance to revoke. However, clearances can remain automatically active for several years after an official departs government service. When asked whether former President Barack Obama and former Vice President Joe Biden might have their security clearances revoked, Sarah Sanders said she did not have any further information. So this is what we should all ask ourselves. Is John Brennan monetizing his security clearance? I think he is. When he shows up on MSNBC and NBC, I think when he spreads out these anti-Trump rhetoric, I think he is leaking important information. Is John Brennan making millions of dollars divulging secrets to the mainstream media with his attacks on Donald Trump? We should all ask ourselves. So Brennan joined NBC News and MSNBC in February as a contributor. and senior national security and intelligence analyst. And he has been spreading nonsense on a daily basis ever since. This is pretty much what the mainstream media is saying regarding this issue. This is a political attack on career national security officials who have honorably served their country for decades under both Republicans and Democrats in an effort to distract from Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. No, it's not. They always say that. What about Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation? Nothing has come out of it. Not a smidgen of evidence and not a single witness. What's going on? The charges that they had brought had nothing to do with collusion. It's just a show. It's nonsense. So what it means is that we have never seen such incoming from the deep state. And the head of all that, it seems, the head of all that is probably John Brennan. Look at all the hate he spews out at Trump. And it also means that the mainstream media today is utterly dead at this point. You shouldn't believe it, especially the political coverage is completely political hacks. They're just completely left-wing, secular, progressive, agenda-driven media outlets. That's pretty much what they are. And they don't spread real news. That's just a fact. Congressional Republicans are pushing for Brennan to testify on Capitol Hill regarding the investigation into Russian meddling and potential collusion with Trump campaign associates in the 2016 presidential election. John Brennan recently said this, and I quote, "Trump's meeting with Trump was nothing short of treasonous," end quote. No, John, what you are doing is treasonous. And James Comey, the former FBI director, he's running around telling people to